Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, adults, teenagers, adolescents, and babies. I had to start it off with a freestyle. We back Friday night live on Thunderstorm Media. The Thunderstorm is here, and I got a special guest for y'all tonight, man. I have put so much into this show. We forgot that we probably won't be able to get all of it in. So this is what we're going to plan to do. We're going to talk to the man of God, Anthony Gray, tonight. This man is an author. This man is a former gangster to turn his life around. Y'all know how I like those types of dudes. We wanted to talk about, first, let me start by doing this. It's been a long time since we talked. Last time y'all hung out with us, we had rap artist Jiggy G here, not formerly, she's still with Luke Records, I believe. But Jiggy's a dear friend of ours. We love her. She always blesses us. She's always supporting the show. I know you watch it now. Shout out to everybody who's been a part of the Thunderstorm journey since the beginning. My big brother Ion, Dontrell, too many of y'all to name, man. And I don't want to try to start naming people because if I leave anybody out, people get offended. Real talk, people get offended. And we don't want to do that. We want to share some joy tonight because it is what some of y'all deem to be Good Friday. And we celebrate Resurrections Sunday, 2 days from now. It's our Super Bowl. This is what it's all about. This is what it's always been about for us, man. This is everything to the Christian community, man. This is what we get hyped up about. This is the celebration of a life, a journey, a birth, God becoming a man, death, beating hell, resurrection, ascension into heaven, and his eventual return. And we can't go another further without saying about that, but we're going to get into that a little bit later on the show. Also want to commend the fact that since the last time I saw you, a lot has happened. Deshaun Watson, brother, I don't know what you're going to do. I know you got the big deal. I know you got the contract. I don't know how this is going to work out. But Deshaun Watson, brother, I do not know how it's going to work, bro. We off to a bad start in Cleveland. I don't know if y'all saw that interview. We won't talk about that tonight. And we definitely won't be talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock. Please don't ask me to do that. Matter of fact, I got a public service announcement for at least 6 to 7 million of y'all. If y'all are over the age of 35, and once we got past Sunday, now if there was a little bit of buzz on Sunday and maybe the next Monday, maybe Tuesday, we'll give y'all a little bit of credit, man. But 2 weeks after that, man, if y'all are still talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith, I need y'all to get some hobbies. I need y'all to pick up some extra hours at work. I need y'all to find something else to do because there's a whole lot more that we could be talking about. We should have been celebrating Summer of Soul. Should have been celebrating Denzel Washington and all these great accomplishments and everything. And the only thing that came out of this is Chris Rock and Will Smith. I find that to be unfortunate, especially after a blackout of the Oscars for I don't know how long. Again, that's not what this show is about tonight. Just wanted to throw a couple things out there because this is normally when I do my rant. But let me say a couple things on a positive note. First of all, happy Resurrection Sunday to those of y'all who are celebrating. Springtime is here. It's one of my favorite times of the year. We're talking about the NFL draft, basketball's in the playoffs, baseball is starting back. And for those of y'all in the hip-hop community, we also know that in March, we lost two great icons who actually were introduced to us at the same time. We lost Biggie on March 9th. We lost Craig Mack of March 12th. I don't know the years off the top of my head. But I want to say what's up to the family of Biz Markie, and I say that for a reason, man. When we started the Thunderstorm many, many moons ago, I lose track sometimes, maybe 5 years, maybe 6, maybe 7. There were certain people that came by to do interviews that didn't have to do it. Now, I never got to interview Biz Markie on the Storm, but I got to interview Biz Markie one time. He didn't really have a whole lot of time. He didn't have time to do it, but he did it and allowed me to share that interview. And that gave me some instant credibility for a dude who was a Christian hip hop writer at the time, but struggling. Shout out to Lil Rascal, Chili Baby from the Gospel Gangsters, Jiggy, who I mentioned earlier. I did Black Rob's last interview, as y'all know. I don't get credit for that, and some people try to take credit for that, but I actually did Black Rob's last interview. And when those people came by to show me love and always gave me that, on Benzino, most definitely Benzino, but everybody that came by to show us love in some shape, form, or fashion during the course of the storm, we love y'all to death because we were struggling at times. We had dreams and goals and aspirations and things that weren't coming to fruition as quickly as we would like it to have been. But y'all came by to love and y'all showed love. And just off the fact of, yo, Zeno came on Doc Honeycutt show and, yo, Black Rob was just on GQ show and stuff like that. They gave us credibility always and gave us instant credibility. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never forgive Biz Marquis, whose birthday, happy heavenly birthday to him, was April 8th. So that being said, we about to get into it. Most requested song of the night. We're going to go ahead and play that early because, like I said, we got about 6 things we cracked into the show. And we're going to start early with a dear friend of mine, my sister, Sarita J. Definitely a homegirl from Charlotte, North Carolina. Living in Atlanta, Georgia right now. And she has the most requested song of the night. Amazing. Flatline. People are still asking for it. We had to retire Flatline from the Battle of the Beach. Y'all know we always, have 2 songs compete against each other. She retired as a champion after 6 straight wins and no losses. And she's still the most requested song of the night. Sarita J will be right back with the man of God, Anthony.
Think about it. You say he wants you, look at me, I doubt it. Baby, you're no competition for me. You're the bottom shelf, baby, I'm that Hennessy, yeah. You're worrying about the way we live. Just know I'm satisfied with all the love that he gives. You see your time to shine has been blinded by mine. 2 carats, honey, but money can't steal my shine. I'm the realest that you've ever dealt with. You ain't got the power to devour what we feel. You see I'm pouring tough, that means I'm built to last. You and all your nonsense can simply kiss my ass. Wanna know every move we make, how we grind and have enough time to stack that cake. Don't worry your little head, cause too much sugar, no bread. Flatline, baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time. Now I know I got your blood straight boiling. How's the plans for our future, boo? You thought you were spoiling. With your calling us, disrespecting me. You quickly realize I'm a real GB. I don't think you really want it anyway. Except the fact that he's here and here's where he'll stay. You had your chance, baby girl, and you blew it. Opportunity knocking, I damn sure pursued it. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time. Gave you his heart and you slept the night through it. All the pain that you caused, now you too will go through it. Honey, boo, he's mine. All the wrong that you caused him now has to replace. Best believe that he's loving me all in his face. Honey, boo, he's mine. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl. Now I know I got your blood straight boiling. How's the plans for our future, boo? You thought you were spoiling. With your calling us, disrespecting me. You quickly realize I'm a real GB. I don't think you really want it anyway. Except the fact that he's here and here's where he'll stay. You had your chance, baby girl, and you blew it. Opportunity knocked and I damn sure pursued it. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl. Baby, it's my time. He ain't gonna rewind. We don't have time, you foolish girl.
Killing her husband's ex-girlfriend at the time. She definitely set out a Flatline with that one. My homegirl, Sarita J. And the most requested song of the night, Flatline. Later on, we got the Independent Artist Spotlight, and we also got the Old School Bus coming up in true Thunderstorm fashion. But before we do all that, gotta give this brother his time, and definitely got to do that right now. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been sitting here throughout the course of that entire song, and I was sitting here trying to figure out, how do you introduce a brother like of this stature and do this correctly? Couldn't think of a way to do it. So This is how I'm gonna try to do it. I love the comeback story. I love the underdog. I love the brother that struggles, overcomes strife, personal demons, and triumphs at the end of the story. Now, a lot of times, these are the types of stories that you're about to hear tonight that are taken to like Hollywood. They're thrown out because it'd be deemed unrealistic. But the brother actually lived this story. The brother actually took the time to formulate his journey into words. And now what he's doing is he's decided that he's going to take trial, tribulation, personal loss, unfortunate circumstances he's seen. He's going to then create that into prose, and he's going to use that to benefit the lives of others. Now, how can we not celebrate that, especially heading into a Resurrection Sunday? The name of the book is A Soul to Care, a Blessing That Came from Trouble. The man of God is Anthony Gray. We welcome him to the Storm, the Thunderstorm Hotline. What's going on, you little brother?
Hey, what's up with you, man? I appreciate that introduction, man. Very powerful, man. Thank you very much.
Man, we appreciate you for coming on, man. Now, I've been talking to CC a little bit today, man. So this is what I found out. I found out you did an interview that's going to be on CW. You had a meeting that you had to go to. You had a photo shoot. You had like 17 different things going on. And that started about 9. You've been at this for about 14 straight hours. I know that.
Yes.
After getting off the plane. So there's some jet lag going on. But you took some time to hang out with us at the end, and we appreciate it. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I feel very well, man. I feel like it was a great day to get the message out, great day to communicate, great day to network and build and start building relationships with people and get in touch with the community, especially the community I come from. And we did a photo shoot at one of the spots that changed my life.
So I'm gonna lie to you, man. Like now, the first thing I ever remember about Miami was Uncle Luke and the 2 Live Crew, and it was something about the 2 Live Crew that made me feel like I need to move to Miami immediately.
I was a young boy when it was out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, in the community, they would definitely flourish, and we definitely appreciated that whole wave and that whole that movement of 2 Live Crew. It actually got intense when I became a teenager and a young man. And Miami is where it's at. Like, if you from anywhere else, you want to have a good time and see the culture and see a good vibe, come to Miami, Dade County.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 things I wanted to bring up too. Like, because number one, I say that because the first memory a lot of us had as far as hip hop was like party and things of that nature. Luke, 2 Live Crew, things of that nature. We was eventually introduced to Rick Ross, Trina, shout out to her. And but there's another side to Miami as well. You had the college athletics with the Hurricanes. You also had the beautiful tourist attractions in South Beach and things of that nature. But there's a dark side of Miami too, and a lot of y'all that are actually living down there in the community actually saw the other side of Miami, the dark side of Miami, the violence, things of that nature. And that was a part of your upbringing in your past, right?
Yeah, correct. So, and I talk about in my book how I witnessed my first murder at age 6 years old, and I suffered from PTSD because of that shooting incident, and also how my father was active participant in the drug game, and he got sentenced to a quarter, 25 years when he was 24 years old. So coming up in the dope game, my stepfather was a dope boy. So we inherit that. We inherit the drugs and the violence. And we come up in that element, and unfortunately, a lot of us ain't here to tell the story, or a lot of us locked up away can't really share their story, you know. And I'm glad that I paid attention and soaked the game up and got educated out the whole of there.
Now I was fortunate because I had a lot of that going on in my family as well too. But I had like a lot of people around me. Some people trying to bring you into it, but a lot of people as well. I was fortunate enough to sit there and tell me, yo, you ain't got to do this. We do this because we got to. You can go another way and things of that nature. But you was kind of brought into the culture, right?
Brought into that culture. We call it the G code. You know, we live by it, we die by it. You know, it's embedded in our blood. So, for my older cousins, uncles, my dad, been my hero all my life since I was a little boy. I used to love to hear the stories how my dad did his, you know what I'm saying, did his thing in the community, but it unfortunately led him in an environment, and I learned from his mistakes to do better in life.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take you back and everything, because one of the things that I think the first thing I ever heard that you say to me personally was there was this glorification, especially in the African American community, towards guns, violence, things of that nature. And we hear it in the music and stuff like that. And that's kind of one of the things you said touched me. Can you touch on that a little bit, as you had said it?
Coming up, your role models are like people who are close to you within your environment. So you glorify the people who could give you money. You glorify the people who got respect and who got a name out in the community. So by me coming up in an environment like around those people, like I won't call them those, my people, my heroes, and how they did their thing, and they always come back and give us like the positive note. But I'm fortunate enough that my dad went away for a long period of time. He didn't start changing his life until after 10, 11 years in prison. So when he changed his life, I was like maybe 16, 17. As he slowed down, he was able to give me the realistic of the penitentiary life. He was able to give me the realistic of the game. He gave those stories that made me like, you know what? Then I looked at the retirement of the game by being a young man hanging around an area called the pool hall in Elbertown. I seen people who done 20, 30 years in prison who had millions of dollars. Then they end up not unfortunate environment. They don't got the best health care. They don't have no place to really call residence. They usually live with a sibling or a family member. I seen those, and that's the end results of the game. Nobody never share those stories. So it's no, as I say, no glory in the game. Because if you make how much money you got, then they take your freedom away for 20 years. There's no balance in that. There's no thing to substitute freedom and livelihood to be there for your kids and watch them grow. My father went away when I was 6 years old. He got on when I was 20, 23. And then me coming up 15, 16, 17, dealing dope, following the same trend as my father. So it's like you inherit the BS, you know what I mean? It just, I want to just share that and just say there's no glory in it. It's nothing like fortunate about the game. Ain't nothing in the results. It's not going to get you nowhere.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, let me ask you this, like, because the first time I went to Miami, this was the first thing that was said to me by somebody I didn't even know, and they was from the city. So they were like, you know, I love my town. Ain't nobody gonna ever say nothing bad about Miami to me and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fake here, man. It's a lot of people that come here and they want to be this or want to create a whole new identity for themselves or get away from their real lives for the moment to pretend they're something else for a weekend and things of that nature. And they said to them, that's the real Miami. To another person, the real Miami is the beauty, is the beach, is the things of that nature. There's the high-end class of society. And then to other people, there's another side of Miami, and the real Miami is a lot of what you describe and things of that nature. Because a lot of people that I met from the streets and from the gang culture and things of that nature, they really didn't really think about South Beach like that or the Dolphins and things of that nature. What is your town? Because I always talk to let people explain their town for themselves. What is Miami to you?
What you said earlier about people come down and pretend to be something else. JT Money said it best. Too many vlogs talk about how they live vlogs. You know what I'm saying? You get those characters in Miami too. Mm-hmm. Then to me, Miami is a place where people hustle. Like Ross said it best. You know, people you find people with multiple jobs, multiple hustles. You'll find somebody got a 9 to 5 this time, and they got a hustle on the side where they selling clothes, they selling food, they doing things on the side to try to make themselves more productive. It's more of a like get it how you live down here, meaning that you got to get your hustle on. You got to make a way for yourself, and whatever it is, it was negative or positive, you'll find people hard work and try to strive and be better. Now, as far as the beaches, like South Beach ain't Miami to us. Like I didn't see South Beach. I didn't really see the essence of the beach to my 20s. So like that's never been a reality to us. The partying and all that comes with the culture of Miami because our clubs stay open late, but also those clubs you can get shot at, them clubs gonna get shot up. So there's a lot of violence come out those clubs too, but in the most evidence is a lot of productive and like a lot of good vibes too come out of that environment. So to me, Miami is the hustle. It's the hustling. Like we do a lot of hustling down there. Whatever it is, people got 2 or 3 things going on down here in Dade.
Yeah, what's up? So let me ask you this too. So the first thing I ever heard about you was what you did, and I heard that from like some mutual friends of ours and stuff like that. So we met, but the first time I actually heard of you or heard about what you was doing and everything, I think it was the same for both of us. Like we heard of each other and we started looking at what the other person was doing and stuff. And then we met later. So the first thing I ever met about you was what you did and where you at now. But upon meeting you, it was like, I can't even imagine this brother doing the stuff that I heard that he did and things and stuff like that. Nobody was like in your ear and everything like, yo, Ant, what you doing, man? Do something else. You ain't got to do this stuff.
I was a jit, man. Dade County jit. Got that name when I was a young boy, you know. And the things I was doing, I was a felony before I hit puberty. So the things I was involved in the street life was that was part of it, you know. It was part of it. It was like none that I did was out of the out of the norm, you know. When I first got arrested or got in some trouble, my mom was like, "Oh, you living the dream, huh? You going right there to be with your old boy, your daddy, you know. You're gonna be in that penitentiary." So it was like something that I took part of. So far as like being who I am now and overcoming those obstacles, I'm glad that I changed. I'm glad that I could change their life. I'm glad I could walk around with a smile on my face. I'm glad I got college degrees. I'm glad that I'm a father to my children. So I love the fact that I changed and you can see the change in me. You won't never see like he did this, he did what. Like Tupac say, the roads that grew from concrete, you'll never ask about the damaged petals. You'll say how the roads grew out of that. So I'm glad that I'm here to show that and express that on my face.
Yeah. And you mentioned a couple of times your father and your mother and everything. So they was both in your life. You was able to maintain contact with your father even after he was incarceration.
Man, I met him. He went away when I was 6. I didn't really see him till I was 15. But during that time, once we start really getting in touch, the letters, you know, one of his raps in my book. So it's hard. It's all the books, the stuff in there I put in my books. It's basically conversation he had behind the wall. He made me feel comfortable saying, you know what, I am smart. It's cool to be a nerd. All they do is walk around and read books. All they do is walk around and pray. So he said, why come to the joint to do all that? We could do it out there. So that's why I believe in the power of prayer, believe in the power of change, and being the power of reading and making it okay. Education is gangster to me.
Yeah, Brian, I appreciate you for giving the nerd shout out, man, because I'm a nerd myself, man. Like I thought homework was cool and everything. I think like my era came too early though. Like the nerds wasn't cool when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Now it's like it was like you was wanting to play ball and stuff like that. And I never got called a nerd because I was athletic, but the nerds are the cool kids now, it seems like.
Yeah. Later on in life, yeah, the nerds got the best jobs, the best credit. They got the best things going on in life. So shouts out to the nerds around the world. It's cool to be education.
Shout out to the nerds out there, most definitely. So your father and your mother are still with us?
Yeah, they young. Like my mother was 16 with 3 kids. My daddy was 18 with 4. They young. They still here with us. So like my mother, I talk about in the book is she abandoned my brother and I. We got teenagers because we got too wild out there for us. So she let the system in the streets raise us, and she became a grandmother at a young age. So she went on that side. So we don't fault her for it. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn to be men at a young age, but when she left us, you know, imagine being a teenager, no guidance, no place to live, relative to relative. You do what you got to do.
Yeah. And bro, that had to be like, that's a part of my background as well. Like I work with some disadvantaged children and youth at a mental health facility and things for children and things of that nature. And that had to be all God working, man, because I ain't like kids like that for real. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, like couldn't stand them. There was a point I was like, I don't want to have none of my own and things of that nature. I can't stand kids. So just the fact that I'm even dealing with them is like a whole different type of journey for me and everything. But are you a father yourself?
Yes, I got 2 boys. I have an 11-year-old Anthony Jr. and I have a 10-month-old Antonio.
I guess that's kind of the journey anyway, man. Like we go through what we do, not for us, but to impart that wisdom and things of that nature. So are you seeing the same types of temptations for them, or are there things and stumbling blocks? And you know,
my son is totally different. My oldest, he's 11 years old, private school shorty. You know what I'm saying? He loves education. He loves science. I just bought him his first telescope. So we go out there and look at the stars at night together. We have like great conversation about math. He loved to read, much different than when I was 11 years old. 11 years old, I wanted to thug, you know. I wanted to get out there and get in the game and make my mark out there. So my son is totally different than I am. And I love every minute of it. Like, I appreciate being a father.
Have you ever left Miami and lived there with?
Yeah, currently I moved from Miami because of my oldest son. His mother from Boston. After we separated, she went back to Boston, Massachusetts. And I've been in Boston for 10 years.
Now, I don't know. I hear about a lot of like very attractive Black women like from Boston, but I don't hear about no brothers. Like what kind you that's like
Boston is a different culture, a different environment. It is Black folks in Boston. They do got most of them got Southern roots, and they get along. Boston is just unique. You got to come to Boston to experience Boston. Yeah, like that's all I can tell people is like Boston. Like Boston is definitely not a Black town, not a Black city that you'll go and you'll see brothers. You know what I'm saying? Up and down. you won't see that in Boston, especially in the professional realm. But as far as the community they do have, is some good people that came out of Boston. And I personally like Boston over Miami? I say no, but did I learn more in Boston about healthcare and about education and about family life? I learned more in Boston than in Miami.
You're not a Celtics fan, are you?
No, man, no, I ain't a Celtics fan, man. I'd never be a Celtics fan, man.
As long as you didn't do that, like as long as you do that, I can do nothing else. So, but how does law enforcement treat you? Because that's one of the main stories we hear about, the racism in law enforcement and things of that nature.
Far as now, over the last, I would say I'm up in age now. I really don't have no run-ins with the laws, but when I was in the street, that was meant, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew I was a criminal. You hang over here, it's a drug populated area, narcotic distribution all the time, drugs and transactions happen every other second. So you expect those contact with the law enforcement. As far as when I went to college, I got pulled over a few times because you coming up in a city where the gun violence is extremely high, a lot of shootings going on. And Miami Gardens, they was like pulling everything over there, look between the ages of 15 and 30 at one point. So I got pulled over a lot, but we got to understand too. I'm not advocating for either side, but it just, if we advertise in ourselves, meaning that we take accountability, we advertise for our neighborhoods, like we put on YouTube videos, we put all this, we show multiple guns and say, if you're not from around here, don't come over here. Like we telling other people that look like us could bring some business to our community, don't come from over here because we'll rob you, we'll shoot you. You know what I mean? So those things are being advertised in our community. So one thing I want to talk about too is I want to address the public health crisis. It's a 40-year mark from 1980 to present times that the murder rate for Black males are always, not always, but majority of the time caused by other Black males. It's something that we got to start looking at. So if we in a community where your chances of getting shot is very high, and a shooter is going to look like somebody like you, we advertising for police to come over there and police our communities because they not solving the murders and we producing the murders, and they trying to figure out who caused it and this, and it's us killing us. The data don't lie, the numbers don't lie, and it's something that I want to address. And if my book and my message to inspire other ones to put down their guns and stop killing us. It's us killing us. Tupac said it best. They say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. And that's one of the messages I want to stress. So when it comes to police involvement, I want to deal with ourselves first, because I got a chance of dying by somebody that look like me more than dying by the police. And it's a high chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to hang out tonight and we vibe and we ride, we chilling, we shining. Ain't gonna be the police that gonna come try to take what we got. It's gonna be somebody most likely like look like, you know what I'm saying, look like us. So Miami, a city that you gotta ride with it, Well, it's just life, and look at the gun laws allow us to be fortunate to carry concealed weapons.
If you tune in late, you're listening to Anthony Gray on another edition of Friday Night Live on the Thunderstorm. You see the IG right there, A Soul to Care. The name of his book is A Soul to Care, A Blessing That Came from Trouble. And I kind of want to get into that right now too and everything, man. So like I mentioned earlier, a lot of what I heard with you was, it normally ends up being the same thing. So you hear about what somebody was and who they are now. And like, you got to hear this brother's story and everything, because to move from this to that, from point A to Z was just like an incredible journey to watch and things of that nature. So what would you say was the turning point for you? When did the light switch come on, or you decide, this is just not for me anymore and I just want to do something different?
Education. My grandma always stressed on how her life was. She was born in 1926, and she'll let you know that. And she was always firm on, like, you don't have it hard. You didn't experience what we experienced during those times. You don't have it. You're making it hard for yourself. So she say, who wants to walk around as a dummy? Who don't want to walk around and not knowing something? Knowledge is power. So when I got my GED, that showed me I could obtain something and to get something. So when I got that and I seen that my name on the paper of a high school diploma, I was 18, still hustling, one step away from a felony with ruin my whole life. I was fortunate enough that I say, you know what? Let me get this and just see what else I could do. Let me listen to old Granny, and that was the turning part. Turning part in my life was her words, her commitment to me, giving me hope, and her realness on sharing her experiences in America compared to my experience. My experience can compete with hers because I wasn't told no. She would say she was from Miami, but I had to go to school to Kentucky because there was no colleges down here for her to attend to. So I had to like take those words and say, you know what, let me go ahead and hustle up something for Granny. And when I became an EMT, that was one of the best days of my life. And like I didn't look back since then. I was 18, 19. I just turned 19 when I became a licensed EMT, and that's one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Grandma always keep it real, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm fortunate to have her.
No matter who your grandmama is, she gonna always keep it real with you. So, okay, so education you mentioned. Now, as you've heard the story hundreds and hundreds of times, whether it be through music or poetry or just somebody talking, typically when a lot of us go through an type of experiences that you have, we decide we're gonna do one or two things. We're gonna play ball or we're gonna rap. Like, was that ever part of your thought process?
I was participant like when I was elementary school to playing ball. Then once I got up in age, saw money and shooting dice. You know what I'm saying? And thugging was more attractive to me than playing ball. So that wasn't a thing. I was a fan of Tupac. When Tupac died, you know what I'm saying? My rapping abilities died there, but we freestyle. But I was not of the ones that could like take the mic and gracefully like do that. So those two was an option for me.
So let me ask you this though. So if I'm hearing you correctly, like what shook you out of your existence at the time, grandma came to you, kept it real and everything, and you was like, okay, I got to do something different.
Read a few books about Frederick Douglass was one of them. The narrative of American Slave was a big book that I read, and also my dad being locked up too, seeing the reality like this is my future. I'm looking around. I had to open my eyes and look around me and say, damn man, I'm gonna be in my 30s, 40s, living like, you know what I'm saying, the ones who went to prison, who came home with no money, or I'm gonna go ahead and get a skill and get a trade or something like that and become something. In 20, 30 years, I'd be one with something I could call my own. So I had to look around that. Bus drivers played a huge role in me wanting to look at life different. Like somebody with a regular job, a regular folk, compared to the dope boys who was getting that money. I could see them getting money now, but I see the end results through my dad in prison. And I also see the end results of the old timers who was on the block, who made all that money in the past, but don't got nothing to show for it.
What advice would you give to somebody who's still living that life and everything and really need to turn it out and get their mind on something else?
I say hold on to, like, see your future. Open your eyes and see what's going around you. If you know, they say how you play the game, you're going to be dead in jail. Do you want to die in prison? Do you want to die not being able to, you got to stand in the line, take a bathroom? Do you want to stand in the line to eat, get some food that ain't even prepared for yours? I want to say something to anybody out there, the youth, this message, if it give me 2 minutes, is this. In 1963, Malcolm X described the house nigga versus the field negro, right? It was very powerful how he described that. Now, what I would say the house nigga compared to the field negro now is the street boy. If you in the game, right, and when you get arrested, where you go? To the big house, the master house. When you wear the clothes, who clothes you wear? The master clothes. You gotta wear what's in the joint. Who food you eat? The master's food. So if you look at what's on printed money, it's old slave masters. So you steady, you know what I'm saying, preparing, doing those things that kept us hindered. But if you look at the field negro, it's the educated one, the one who got a credit line, the one who progressed in life, the one who got stuff business and who's doing stuff in the community. That's who you need to go ahead and be. So don't go ahead and say that you think you're going against the grain by committing crime. You're going with the grain, and you're going to head for a life of destruction. Look around, you open your eyes, man, and just say where you want to be at 5 to 10 years from now. Set goals for yourself, and overcome those barriers, man. It's not easy. It won't be easy. Nothing in life that's powerful is going to be that you need is going to be easy. But if you see something that you could obtain, you could go work towards it, and when you achieve it, you'll be a blessing that came from trouble.
You're listening to The Storm and Anthony Gray on Friday Night Live, and y'all getting the education right now as I am too. I just feel smarter just from talking to you. I have heard quotes from JT Money, Rick Ross, Tupac, Malcolm X, and Frederick Douglass all in one conversation. That can only happen on The Storm, bro. That can only happen on The Storm. But let's quote some of your stuff. If you're listening live to us and everything, I want y'all to stop what y'all doing. I want y'all to go to your Instagram pages because y'all probably on there looking at some nonsense. Whether you're listening to me live right now, you listen to me later, because I know some of y'all wait till y'all at work or whatever y'all do, or y'all realize y'all had to listen to me live, so you're gonna listen to me later. But go to Instagram, go to Anthony's page, A Soul to Care, just like it sounds. Hit the follow button for him, and make sure you go to Amazon, Target, wherever books are sold, and you get A Soul to Care, a blessing that came from trouble. And that's why I'm gonna rest here for a second here too, because as you know, I'm a writer.
Okay.
I spend a lot of my time talking about football and things of that nature, and I'm just conditioned to just, there's a story, spin the story, things of that nature. So then I decided, Anthony, what I was going to do is I was going to write a book, and I always talk to authors who are published to ask them this question, because I have been trying to write a book for 15 years now. Can't get out the first chapter.
Yeah.
So take me into the thought process, into the creative process and things of that nature. Like, for someone who's never written a book before and everything, what was it that made you say, this is what I'm going to do, and what started the creative process for you?
The creative process started when I was writing it as a typical book, but then I looked at the environment and the culture, and I started paying attention to people I could affect their lives and I could change the most. I say, what do they watch most? They watch vlogs, movies, and musical content. So I put it as a screenplay with musical content, with as a storyline. It's a stage play, and it also tells a story. So what I did, I dig into and say, what is a soul to care to me? A soul to care is a blessing that came from trouble. No, sorry, a blessing that came from trouble. A soul to care to me means having a compassion, empathy to care for somebody's well-being to their best interest. So when I looked at that, I said, what in the life that my turning point? So I started off as A, which was I was selling crack. B, I was incarcerated youth, and C, I was thugging. So I say where I'm at now, I'm a registered nurse, father, and a role model. So I say I just started to top in. Let me just give a transparency on my life from where I was at in A, B, and C into where I'm at now in the present. So it just started off like a page at a day, then it turned to a page a week, because I focused on that one page for so long period of time. I wanted to put as much thought into it, but less words. I didn't want to write 10 pages for one thought. So that's what one of my strengths in my book and writing and my style.
That's dope. Rewind the tape back about 15 seconds. Give me that thing again. You gave me like a little mantra there. What was that? What was that? One more time. I'll make sure I might have missed it.
Sorry, I said that I took back what I was at, then I just went back and I just went back to A and just went where I'm at now in B, and I just took time. I took a lot of thought. Instead of put thought into writing 10 pages, I put a thought into one page. So, and I was able to condense that and use less words so the reader would have a quicker attention span, won't get losing the train of thought. And I put some comedy in there. I put some spiritual stuff in there. I put, some history through my granny, and I just put some real street stuff in there as well.
Give him the thunder and lightning. You just keep going. That was so good. We had to give you the thunder and the lightning twice, man.
I appreciate that.
All right, man. So, for those who are not familiar with things of that nature, because you still won't believe how many people we talk to on a daily basis that don't understand the concept of like the internet and things of that nature. So, how do they go about purchasing your book if that's what they choose to do?
I suggest people go to Target.com and get A Soul to Care, or in Amazon.com, A Soul to Care. And also look at my YouTube vlogs on Anthony Gray, Gray, MSNRN. And they could see my work and see and read up on me and just see. And also follow me on at Soul to Care as well on Instagram.
I heard screenplay in there too. So I was like, I heard screenplay. I want to cut you off while you was talking and stuff like that. So how does a brother get a role in a screenplay, man? Like trying to get on.
Well, I got some jokes in there, man. I think you could put you in there as well.
Most deaf. I'm trying to say that now. Don't be saying it, man, because it's on record now.
No, it's on record, so let's go ahead and make it official, man. Get you something.
And I'm gonna repost this now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna repost
got to, man. Got to.
Instagram, it's going on my website and everything, stuff like that. So you can't come back, man. And tell me
really, have you had one of them brothers who come and talk to God? Because there was a lot of God being into my train of thought too as well. I even mentioned the Mormons. You know, they used to ride around bicycles in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I even read with them and pray with them because I knew death was around the corner. So I wanted to put that in. A lot of brothers like you come around and just say, man, God don't want you to go to prison. God don't want you to die this way. Go ahead and become somebody in your life. So I think you'll fit that role perfectly.
A lot of people say that too, man. They say that like, but it's like part of a 16-bar joint in like a rap song, things of that nature. They're talking about they're trying to mix the gang culture and things of nature, but I still had a spiritual side, and that side was talking to me and everything. Especially if we're from the South, like a lot of us, we had an aunt, a grandmother, a role model, something that somebody was in the church and everything. So was that kind of like your same?
My granny was big into the Bible, but I didn't grow up in the church. I started going to the church when I became a young man. I used to go alone, just hear the words and hear the hums. And when my dad came out of prison, he was going to a church, and I used to go just be next to my dad as well.
Why nursing? Because you're a registered nurse now, correct?
Yes, I'm a registered nurse. Been a registered nurse for now 13 years. Just got my master's degree in nursing. It's just my passion, my commitment. I began my healthcare profession as an emergency medical technician, and I transferred over to nursing. And like Dr. Willie say, nurses are not born. I mean, nurses are not made; they are born. She could teach you how to be a nurse, but she can't teach you how to care. And care has been something that's in me. So read the book, A Soul of Care, Blessing That Came from Trouble. You'll see how I got into nursing, how I got into the aspect of caring, and so it's my story. So, and one thing I want to add on is as we went through this pandemic, we put a lot of hours in. So shouts out to all the nurses and the nursing assistants, the doctors, the housekeeping staff, the security staff, the whole 9 yards, man. They made this journey in hospitals I worked at as great for the patients that we took care of.
Did you experience corona yourself? Was you exposed to it? Did you catch it or anything?
I didn't personally catch corona during the pandemic, but I was in the emergency room during the pandemic. I was also on the medical surgical floors, so I had several cases that we had, a lot of cases that we had patients with COVID-19.
All right, that's all right. You got to get the thunder and lightning. That's a hero right there, man. That's a hero. So you're one of those actual healthcare physicians and stuff to care, man. We need more of that, man, because I'm tired of going to the hospital and having to argue with folks.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends where you go, but I can speak on myself and the colleagues I worked around, and we don't wake up saying we're gonna be rude to people or do this. We wake up with the attitude of like we can make a change in somebody's life on the worst day of their lives. So that's healthcare to me. So shouts out to all the nurses. Like I'm telling you, man, I work with some great people, and I work with some great people throughout my career. And I also want to shout out SMR Marketing for getting my story out there and get me connected with you to share my experiences and speak so proudly and highly of nurses around the country and around the world as well.
Not to disrespect where you came from and your background and everything, man. I don't understand how you even went through the life that you went through, to be honest with you.
Man, I'm from there, man.
I look at you now, though, and I'm saying that as a compliment, though, because I look at you now and I'm like, this brother is like just totally turned it around, things of that nature.
And I'm proud to be there. I'm proud that
you see brothers that actually hit you up and everything, and they like always wanting to talk about your journey and things of the nature. That's the most rewarding part for me. Like people that actually are inspired by you that you don't even know, that are like just touched by the story and just want to soak up more of the information you had to get to them.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The ones it's so many Anthony Grays out there. There's a lot of people with the same similar backgrounds, and they got stories as well. That's why I've been getting a lot of good support and a lot of from all walks of life. So as you mentioned that you meet brothers all the time, want to share their story and their journey. We all got a story out here, and we all got a journey. So that's one thing I want to share mine and collaborate with people who got the similar stories or different stories that they need to be heard, and just make their story heard as well. So thank you so much, G, for putting me on here tonight.
I appreciate you for coming on, man. Like I said, like those of y'all tuning in late, Anthony had a photo shoot. Anthony had an interview for CW. Anthony had 55 different things to do today, and Anthony got something to do after this, but he took some time, about an hour out of his time to hang out with us, man. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's next? Any projects you got coming on? You thinking about writing another book? What you got coming up?
Next is getting involved more in public speaking, getting my story out, and I also want to write a book about my journey into love. So it's going to be called The Power of a Mother's Love. So it's going to be hopefully out next August.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How can people support you financially?
My team, SMR Marketing, if y'all want to come on and talk about the sponsorship and things we're going to do to try to get this off the ground.
Yeah, they jumped the gun on me. They tried to do the gauntlet. We talk about money right now, though. Yo, this is like serious.
How you doing, man? I'm Chuck, CEO of SMR Marketing. You met Sandra already via text and phone calls. We have a lot of things coming up. We just had a Zoom meeting with a movie producer. Some good stuff coming up. Fundraising definitely is happening right now because this thing takes a lot of money to get going. And when I first, I know Anthony through a family. I'm married to his cousin first of all. So we knew each other before. I even know he had his book that circulated. So we got together and we just started going from day one. It's been like a month married right now, about a month. We moved a year like in a month, like of stuff we've been doing behind the scenes, and we've been impressing them every other minute, every day. So to get them these opportunities to come interview with yourself, like the TV shows and all that stuff. And so we're definitely in the market right now. We're actually in the planning stage of fundraising, starting off GoFundMe's, whatever it is we got to do to make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. Myself and Sandra and the team. So definitely, we're here.
Definitely. Let's go gully on them, man. Y'all got a cash app? Like, for folks that don't understand that, we're gonna
set all that up. We're gonna set up with the GoFundMe, the cash out. So we're gonna get going with different sponsorship. We're gonna tap into the market where somebody wants to see their product with Anthony at the time. And the book. Yeah. Just buy the book. Pretty much, we want people to buy the book. They buy the book to help us out. And that's our goal, to get this book sold.
Word up. The book is A Soul to Care, a blessing that came from trouble. We got cash apps popping up in the in the comment section of things. And you want to throw those up there and everything.
Yeah, man. We just got to get it out there, man. That's our biggest. That's our job right now as a marketing company, because we want Anthony to come in town. Wherever we go to, we want him to focus on his speaking, interviews, book signing. That's his job. Our job is to make sure everything's taken care of. And I told him that's our goal. And I spoke to him one-on-one. We all spoke to him one-on-one. We want him to come in town to do what he does best. Tell his story.
Facts.
What was that?
All right, I know y'all got better things to do to hang with me. Get Anthony here. We're going to do the gauntlet.
Good talking to you, man. Good.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
About time for the ball. All right, Ant, we done broke a lot of ground here tonight, man. We're gonna set it off with the gauntlet now. 20 questions, lightning round the Thunderstorm way. Are you ready?
You ready?
All right, start the timer. We ready to go. Boston or Miami?
Miami.
NBA or NFL?
NFL.
Chicken or fish?
Chicken.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Mary J. Blige or Beyonce?
Mary J. Blige.
And I would just like to put out there that Mary J. Blige is about 700 ahead of Beyonce right now.
Yeah.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Best quality in a woman other than her love for Christ?
Personality.
We're getting in the car with you right now. What are we listening to? What you got playing?
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, Luke.
Rick Ross.
South Beach or Hard Rock Cafe Stadium?
Hard Rock Cafe Stadium.
The Celtics or the Heat? The Celtics or the Heat?
Around with the Heat, Dade County, 305.
Miami or the Patriots?
Miami.
All right, we got two brothers in a fight here. We got Captain America and Iron Man. Who wins that fight?
Iron Man.
Batman versus Superman.
Batman.
In the championship round, Iron Man versus Batman.
Iron Man.
Guy, New Edition.
New Edition.
Boys to Men or Guy.
Boys the Man.
New Edition or Boys to Men.
Boys the Man.
You could go back and change one thing. What is it?
Nothing.
One thing you like everybody to know about you that we didn't cover in the interview.
Registered nurse. I'm a nurse for life, baby.
All right, stop the time. Anthony has completed the gauntlet. Anthony Gray has been on the storm with us for the past.
Thank you so much, man. Shout out to the time, man.
Bro, we appreciated you, family. As you know, you always got a spot here with me. I don't know what took us so long to get you on in the first place, but you're welcome anytime. Anything that we can do for you. You are recorded and on the network now, so you do know with this movie I got to roll.
All right, thank you. Yeah, got to, man.
This is binding.
The show.
All right, man. Well, safe travels to you. I know
Absolutely.
Miami can get a little crazy around this time of year and everything, but you came up. You're somebody we proud of. We always been cheering for you. We appreciate you for allowing us to be a part of the journey, man. And we're gonna hit you up on
Thank
the
you for
way.
allowing. Thank you for letting me share my story. Appreciate it. Greatly do.
Yeah, man. We love you, and we'll talk to you next time. Right?
All right.
All right, you've been listening to Anthony Gray here on the Storm. Fantastic interview. I still got it. I have not lost anything. Give him the thunder and lightning one more time. We're gonna make him. We're gonna put him in the three. In the trio. I hope he's as proud of that as we are to say it. Not many people have gotten the thunder and lightning 3 times in the interview, man. He got it after the interview and everything, but it's dope. It is what it is. Definitely want to again reiterate the fact that we're just continuing with another season of the Storm. We love each and every one of y'all for hanging out with us. I came on the air earlier for those of y'all that missed it. And I want to restate it again. Y'all missed a lot since the last time we was here. Last time we was here, we had Jiggy, my homegirl from Luke Records. Love Jiggy to death. She got a lot of new projects in the works. She's coming back on, and we got a surprise with y'all featuring Jiggy like later on. We got some great guests. We got some hip hop legends. We got Christian hip hop artists. We got writers, authors. We got all kinds of folks just hanging out with us, man. And we love every single one of them taking time to share their talents and stuff on the Storm. People asked us how the Storm came about. And a long time ago, me and my brother Ion, just off the love of Christian hip hop, just sat around and I can't tell you how many times me and Ion just sat up to like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm making his wife mad, so on and so forth. We just talking about all kinds of stuff. And we was always bothered by the fact that we was Christian hip hop and we could sit there and we could listen to Christian contemporary gospel stations on the daily basis, Christian rock stations, all those things of that nature. We was just surprised about the fact that how often we could sit there and listen to gospel music on a day in and day out basis for hours upon hours and upon hours and never hear any Christian hip hop. Now, some of that we blamed on us. Now, we're going to be honest with you. Christian hip hop was corny. And then we got to know some folk because when we got into Christian hip hop, we was the only ones doing it. So everybody knew each other. So it was nothing to call, such and such, bring them down to Charlotte, for us to go to Philly, for us to go to Miami, for us to everything. And shout out to Miami family and everything. Anthony Gray is a part of that. Shout out to Ty CC, everybody who's helped us to, connect with Anthony to get him on the show and everything because we know he's busy. But the Storm was just birthed out of the idea of, number one, ministry. Number two, just betterment of the community, betterment of the Christian hip hop community, advancement of the kingdom, things of that nature. And we was media folk and musicians. So though every particular aspect of our day wasn't necessarily dedicated to ministry, we had to make money. We have R&B producers, things of that nature and stuff like that. We knew that where God has always directed us in the path of was where there is not a spot for us, we create the spot for ourselves. The platforms that we don't see, the music that we're not hearing and things of that nature. If we're that bothered by it, it becomes our goal and our responsibility to change it, things of that nature. So that's what we did. So the Thunderstorm was birthed out of that, just off the dreams of me and my brother Ion. Like I said before, there's so many people that have come through. We lost the first 2 episodes. Real talk. So we had 2 episodes in. Once we got off of contemporary radio on Things the Nation side, we was going to do it in the form of online radio and then breaking that into online segments of radio, which is now called podcasting. We decided that what we wanted to do was we wanted to be intentional about sharing the gospel, sharing the ministry, things of that nature. But we had so many folk. We had sports writers and we had singers and we had mimes and we had so many people that did other things and stuff. And the goal was just, real talk, the goal was just, we just going to play Christian hip hop because nobody else was doing it. And we was going to be the platform because nobody else was. We had attitudes, man. We was tired of being thrown into youth ministry. We was tired of being told that we couldn't talk to the adults because every time they said Christian hip hop, we thought we had to go talk to 15 to 16-year-olds. And like, we got more word than the pastor. But God told us where there isn't an avenue and where there isn't a platform, you become a platform. And that's exactly what we did. People have talked about the fact that, we get a little wild, we get a little crazy and everything. We are who we are. We're never going to apologize for being who we are. Things of that nature. If you have a problem with the Thunderstorm, just continue to pray for us. We're going to continue to grow on things of that nature. But in all talk, I've been to some of y'all churches too. Ministry ain't going on over there either. I ain't gonna say no names. Y'all know who y'all are, but some of y'all go to church on every single Sunday, and I've been to your church once and I don't see ministry, or twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. I'm kidding, of course, because as mentioned earlier, we're heading into another Resurrection Sunday. We'd like to say thank y'all because this is our Super Bowl. This is our salvation that we're talking about. This is the celebration of our King that we're talking about, the King Yeshua. We're talking about God becoming a man, being born from a mother who he's actually her father. He walked the earth, performed miracles. He did all these great signs and wonders, things of that nature that were supposed to be used as example for us to continue to do the same thing. It's now our job and responsibility to do things. And please don't be that church that continues to celebrate the gift of Resurrection Sunday, but forgetting the fact that y'all are still holding on to some stuff that and still working off effort and my ability and things of that nature. Let Resurrection Sunday be what it was. Let it be a celebration of the fact of not what you can do, not what's done in your own effort. Let it be a celebration of a king who came, who is both the lamb and the sacrifice and the savior. Excuse me, the sacrifice and the savior. And he walked among us, died so we wouldn't have to, went to hell so we wouldn't have to, beat hell so we wouldn't have to.